Okay. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Now, I need some people to come in to make sure that they can hear me. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, this is going to be strange. Hi, 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 hi. Joe Hampton, can I just ask a question of you? Can you hear me? I just need to know that you can hear me, and then I will crack on with getting the questions answered. I can hear you. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Right, I just need to find the post. I'm a little unprepared because I've just finished work. Where is it? Where is it? Ah, there we go. Oh, that's a lot of comments on there. So, all comments. Ah. So straight away, the top question on the thread is by Sky Todd Pittman, who asks, "How hard is it to remove the fluorescent paint?" The answer to that is it's actually really easy. I use facial wipes that I get from my local supermarket, and once I've got the bulk of it off, then I will jump into the shower and get myself a wee scrub, and that normally does the job. Okay, that was an easy one, wasn't it? Um, I'm just scrolling through, trying to find the ones with the highest likes. Okay, Lorraine Matthews asks, "How long does it take you to paint yourself? And does your painted self scare your little ones?" Um, it takes around 90 minutes to do the paints. All of the designs are pretty simple. Well, they're simple for me because I've been doing them for a while now. And because I'm painting the same area top to bottom, face, arms, upper torso, it tends to take around the same sort of time frame, which is around an hour and a half. And I've never scared my little ones with my painted self. No. Trisha M, does the shower glow in the dark? No, unfortunately, it doesn't. Moving on to the next one. Lachelle Parker has asked, "What made you decide to make these videos for us? I know it's not for views or likes. There's got to be a passion behind it. I love your videos, and every day I wonder, how does he come up with these ideas for laughs and jokes? But in reality, to be sad, alone, and depressed after, it takes its toll. The internet will crash eventually, and the memories and laughter will remain forever." Okay, so what made me decide to make these videos? I started doing the videos, hi Brenda, in 2020 during the first COVID lockdown. My wife couldn't work because of her industry. Um, I was a key worker. What I do for a living is I provide fresh fruit and vegetables for the local supermarkets, restaurants, delis, cafes, all that sort of stuff. So I was still able to work, but she wasn't. So she downloaded TikTok. And obviously, I saw that she had TikTok. I could hear her chuckling away at it, and I wanted to know what it was all about as well. So I downloaded it too. Very husbandly of me, of course, you know. And it didn't take long before we started seeing cosplay on there, and my wife took an interest in it, which was great because I'd always had an interest in it. But I think all of my previous relationships, I wouldn't have dared to say, "Oh yeah, I like the idea of that," because I would have been ridiculed and laughed at, I think. But my wife seemed to have an interest in it, which piqued my interest again. And we decided as a couple, let's see if we can do this ourselves. Let's get some paints. Let's create some characters, be some people, let's say. And it was hard to start with. My wife took to it easier than I did, I must admit. She had a good, she was really good at it actually. I wasn't so much to start with, and I really wanted to give it in. And she told me not to, told me to stop being a baby and crack on and try something else, basically. So I did. I researched demons on or demon face paints on the internet, and I saw something that really piqued my interest. So I screenshotted it, I adjusted it slightly, and I painted myself as this character. And that character was Chaos, um, one of my demon characters, and that seemed to do a lot better. And I was much more comfortable doing that particular character as well. And it just that was it. I just wanted to do more and more. And I was concentrating to start with on scary audios because they seemed to fit the character. And I think for a while I did the scary audios and I did a lot of transition videos, and I was just learning by doing, basically. And it really, really got my interest peaked. I was having so much fun doing it. It was great for me, for my mental health. It broke up the time for my wife because she was stuck at home all the time. At that point, we had no children, so it was just really fun. We were doing it literally every day. I was coming home from work, and I was doing it every single day. And because I was having so much fun, and I wanted to grow and get my account bigger and bigger and bigger, I was inspired to create other characters, and some characters take a lot of work. I have a character that's called Oblivion. Now, Oblivion is mainly black with horns and some white details going down the face and across the face. That particular character took around 6 or 7 different renditions before I was finally happy with one. And it takes a lot of work, but it's really, really good for just my own mental health and just getting out of my own headspace, let's say. Um, the passion behind it was eventually I decided, maybe I can make something of myself by doing this. And eventually I started doing the UV characters after seeing some really awesome other creators doing UV characters as well. And people really seem to connect with the characters, really seem to enjoy the characters. I was having such a blast as well. And I really thought to myself at that point, maybe I could do something with this. And the motivation started to develop that if I could do something with this, if I could make myself something out of this, then maybe I could provide a better life for my wife. And eventually, when we had children, the children then became part of that dream as well. The dream for me is to be able to buy our dream home in a little village just outside of where we live now, somewhere where our kids can go and play on the street, and we don't have to, or we will not have to worry about them, being run over by cars on a main road. It's just a lovely area. My dream is to, get my books out there, sell enough books to eventually be able to afford to buy that dream home and that dream life, let's say. Did you study at art school? This is a question by Fiona Davy. I actually did not. I did no study to do with art whatsoever. I did a little bit of art at high school, but I never finished high school. So I did it for a couple of years, I would say. And yeah, I have no other studying background to do with art whatsoever. Belinda Gill, have you got a direction you want to take your art in? Like, do you have a goal to do movies or TV? Is this your profession? If not, what do you normally do? So that's more than one question, but we'll answer them all. My normal day job is I am a catering manager at a fruit and vegetable wholesalers, and my job basically entails putting orders together to supply, as I've mentioned already, cafes, delis, schools, care homes, and I do that 5 days a week. It used to be 6 days a week, but the company went and gave us all an extra day off recently, which is fantastic. So that's what I do normally. The direction that I want to go with what I do, let's see. So I've already released one book. It's called The Spirit's Tale: The Journey Begins. That is available on Amazon. It's doing all right. It's a short story. It's around 3,000 words. The Illustrations are absolutely fantastic. Everybody that has bought the book absolutely loves the story and the illustrations, and I'm hoping that the book does well. I think I've sold 150 copies, something like that. Which it's not mega books, but I'm happy. Um, but ideally, I would like to get book two published. Book two is already written. Book two is nearly 6 times the length of the first one. It is nearly just over, 17,000 words. I'm currently waiting on the illustrations to be finished by my illustrator. Um, but before I can publish the book, obviously, I've got to try and pay her for the illustrations and then save up the money for the publication as well. Because I'm not a well-known author, I have to pay for my own publication. So hopefully by the end of 2023, I can get that book out there, and hopefully that will do well. And I've already started writing book three. Trisha M, does your employer co-worker follow your channel? No, my employer doesn't have a clue what Facebook is or TikTok, I don't think. He's a wonderful guy, but he's an elderly gentleman, so he's not really into social media. And a few of my co-workers follow, but it's not something we really talk about. Every now and again, someone might say to me, "Do you still do the painting and stuff?" That's literally as far as it goes. Somebody was really nice. Maria Devita Krug asked, "How are the girls today? This can't all be about you." The girls are absolutely fantastic. They are wonderful little girls, honestly. They're an absolute joy to be around, apart from when they're crying and screaming. But that's all part and parcel of being their dad. So, yeah. Sometimes you're funny and other times quite reflective. Are there any other sides to you that we may not have met? That is by Debbie Randall. Are there any other sides to me that you have not met? I don't know. I mean, I don't consider myself to be overly deep, um, but I try to be. I'm a very empathetic person. I can put myself in other people's shoes. People may contact me sometimes saying I'm going through a very difficult time. I really feel what they're saying to me, and I try to be very empathetic and sympathetic towards whatever situation they're going through. But I'm also not the best at giving advice, especially not when I'm put on the spot. But are there any other sides to me? I don't know. Maybe I'll let all of you figure that one out. Let me just see. Let me just see. 31 likes. So Linda McDonnell has asked, due to the long makeup over process, on average, how many videos do you make per character when you are made up? I hope that makes sense. It does make sense, yes. It's not worth me painting up unless I'm going to do at least 30 videos. I think the most I've ever done in one painting session was about 45, but the hardest part is having the material to be able to film that many videos. I try to save as many as I can. I still film through TikTok because they have some filters which help make my content darker, which really works for the UV content. So I try and save audios through there. I also try and make up poems. I also try and make up meaningful quotes. I find that the stuff I do in my voice really doesn't do very well, but I'm still going to keep doing it because I'm enjoying doing it. And I really do feel like it has helped some people. So if I can continue to keep helping people by doing my own audios and my own videos and my own poems and just little personalized things like that, then I'm going to. I'm going to keep doing it. Let me just say, Jennifer Mackin, what originally influenced you to paint yourself with different characters and make YouTube videos? I think I've pretty much covered that one already, but it was just the opportunity to keep having fun. It was so much fun doing what I do and painting the different characters. I've done a few videos where I use multiple characters, and it takes weeks to make those videos because the painting process takes around an hour and a half. I may do a video where I will film a certain aspect of it as one character, and then I don't have the time to get all of the paint off and repaint up as another character on the same day. So I have to go back to it when I'm next, when I'm next available to paint, which could be a week later, it could be 2 weeks later, it could be a month later. I remember one particular video I did, which was a transition video. I started as myself. I transitioned into, I think, Ogun, and then into Oko, and then into Uni. And the whole process took, all in all, somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but that was literally filming one segment of it and then going back to it later on when I was in another character and filming another segment of it. So whilst it sounds like a lot, it was just a question of saving the process that the progress that I had, and just going back to it. Are you not wearing a painted suit of some sort to avoid painting oneself every clip you make? That's by David Antel. Now, David, I film, as I've just said, at least 30 videos per character when I paint up, so I do make it worth my while. Also, I do not wear a suit because I think people really appreciate the fact that I put in the effort every time. I also like to change little details, and I'll change the colour scheme. I will add certain specialised things. If you recall, not too long ago when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were going through their court case, I actually painted up and I had a JD painted on me to show my support for Johnny Depp. So just keep an eye out for those little different things. Susan Coyle asks, ever thought of lip syncing to music like Voodoo by Gobsmack or I Call the Witch Doctor? I've done quite a lot of music videos. I've done quite a lot of them. My wife takes great pleasure in mentioning to me that when I do music videos, I do my weird dancing, dad dancing, we call it. I have this shoulder roll thing that I just can't help but do. I can't dance to save my life, to be fair. So I just do my best to try and to just move and make myself look even remotely like I know what I'm doing. Because most of the time, honestly, I don't. When it comes to music videos, I don't know what I'm doing. Just scrolling through, bear with me 1 second. So I think I've answered all the ones with the most likes, so I'm just going to go through some of the other ones. Somebody asked, where did God and Jesus come from? I did state on the post that I was not going to address that, purely and simply because I have no idea. Your artwork is amazing in your expressions. What vampire breed are you? That was from Wanda N. Banks. I, unfortunately, am not an expert on vampire breeds, so I cannot answer that question. Trisha, you know exactly what you're doing, though. You're having fun. Absolutely right. That I can agree with. Which is your favourite makeover? That is by Clara Late. I think at the moment my favourite is definitely Spirit Oko, purely and simply because his bright, vibrant orange mouth is just really cool to look at when I'm looking at myself doing the videos. I also paint some of my own body tattoos as part of that character, which makes it a little bit easier to do, which is always good. Sorry, I'm just going through. What makes you angry, sad, happy? What's your greatest life aim? That's by Leslie McLean. What makes me angry? Bullies. I hate bullies. That's one thing that makes me angry. What makes me sad? I think, like everybody, I have my days where I don't feel 100%. I have my days where work maybe is getting on top of me, and I'm like everybody else. I'm just a human guy, just trying to make the best of my life. So there are days when I do feel down. There are days when I do feel sad. I, I feel sad today. My desktop PC has decided after 10 years it finally does not want to work anymore. So I no longer have a desktop PC. I'm sad about that. So there are certain situational things that make me sad, like everybody else. What makes me happy? My wife makes me happy. She's my number one supporter. She is absolutely gorgeous, and every day when I get home from work, the first thing that she does is give me a hug. That's something we've always done, and that makes me happy. I look forward to coming home to my hugs. My girls make me happy. They're absolutely bloody adorable. Creating my content, talking to all of you, that makes me happy as well. Being able to, sounds a bit cliche, but touch people's lives and make a difference to other people makes me happy. Life aim, my greatest life aim is to hopefully get my books sold to a lot more people, be able to provide the type of life that I want for my family and my wife. I think I've already covered that one. Let me just see, sorry. A lot of these questions have been asked before. Stacey McCabe, what initially got you into cosplay? COVID lockdown 2020, that's an easy one. Plus, I'd always wanted to do it. I'm a bit of a geek. I love movies. I love TV shows. I love sitcoms. I love superhero movies, all that kind of stuff. I've always had an interest in cosplay, but I never dreamed of doing it really. And when I did get into it, for some reason, I didn't want to dress up as characters that were already out there, characters that were already available. I've done a couple, don't get me wrong. I've cosplayed as the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker. I've cosplayed as Chucky. I've done a couple of characters like that, but I've still done it the way that I would do it, by painting myself. But I have more fun doing characters that I've created. I don't know why, because I think because they are my characters, they're from my own imagination, which makes them, for me, a lot more special. Are you married? If yes, what does your wife think of you doing this? And does she help you with painting yourself? That's by Tracy Huggins. Yes, I am married. I've already answered that one. My wife is, again, as I've mentioned, my biggest supporter, and nobody helps me paint. I do it all by myself. The only time I've gotten help with painting was when I did a female character called Spirit Ocean. I got my wife to help me with that one because I was a lot out of my comfort zone trying to paint myself as a woman. And I'm never doing it again because when I did get painted up and I did make the videos, I was extremely uncomfortable doing it. That's my own personal issue. I don't have a problem with other people doing it, whatever makes you happy. But for me, I was just uncomfortable with it, so I won't be doing it again. What was your motivation to do these videos, Sherry Truan? I think, again, I've answered that one. It just makes me happy, and it makes other people happy to watch what I do. And as long as people are still watching me and still entertained by what I do, then I'm going to keep doing it. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time, by Karen Spears? I would love to see myself in my dream home with my girls playing outside on the swing on a massive tree with my wife in the kitchen, um, cooking her favourite meal. I don't know, I just would love to be in our dream home. That's where I'd love to see myself. I would at that point as well love to see my books be successful. I would love to see my characters in either movies or comic strips. Um, Maybe even a cartoon, something like that. I'd love to see my characters on the TV. I really would. Dreamer, hello Fallen. So glad to catch you live finally. How are you? I'm very well, thank you for asking. Thank you for joining the live. How do you choose what to post and say, by Kim Parker? I scour TikTok looking for audios that I either found funny or motivational, or I try and make some stuff up myself. And um, I wait until I've got at least 30 of them before I can film. I really don't get to film and paint as often as I used to because of the girls, because of work commitments, because of family life itself. But I still, I'm going to be doing it. I have the intention of doing it for as long as possibly, for as long as I possibly can. Dreamer 0509, please do ask away. What is the secret to not feeling lonely and depressed? Hamza Azam, this is a very, very strange question that I unfortunately am not qualified to answer. Myself, when I'm feeling lonely and depressed, I go to something that I know will cheer me up, something that I know 100% will make me feel better. I will put on a movie, I will put on something that I know I'm going to enjoy. That works for me, but everybody is different. If you do not know what your go to thing is to make you feel better, maybe it's time to seek professional help. There are free services out there that you can contact. I would suggest maybe reaching out to one of those, because nobody deserves to feel that way. You know, there are services that can help you. So try and look some up and reach out, and I'm sure that they will be able to help you in a way that I possibly can. I hope you have a splendid day. It's 1 a.m. in Elko, Nevada, and time for bed. Here's a suggestion for growing your magic. I think people would pay you to voice their poetry poems and post them. If I could get paid to read people's poems, then I would 100% be up for that. I'm up for anything that can help me monetize my content and monetize what I do. I am not a YouTube partner. I need 4,000 hours of watch time before I can even apply for it. So I'm a long way off. I also don't get paid by TikTok, and I also do not get paid by Facebook either. I get Facebook stars, which is donations from people, which is fantastic. But again, this is not something that's guaranteed either. So anything that I can do to help monetize my content, I am open to suggestions. Dreamer0509, how do you keep your characters' personalities so different? Their facial expressions are so unique to each of them. It's phenomenal. I find that slightly strange, Dreamer, because I'll be honest with you, I don't separate personalities. When I dress up as a character, I don't try and do anything different for any of them. I don't try and do my facial expressions different. I think the way that I paint them makes the expressions look slightly different. If you look at each individual character, there are subtle differences. So let's start with Spirit Ogun. Ogun has big pointy teeth that I believe go from the bottom upwards, and the rest of his teeth are then based around that. And then with Urko, he has the big pointy teeth going downwards like a vampire. So his teeth are then based around that. That's the defining. That's the thing that defines the mouth for those two characters. With Uni, the father figure, I didn't want him to have those sharp teeth like his sons, so he has the same sort of teeth going all the way along. The same for, I believe, Spirit Uzu as well. I didn't want him having big pointy teeth either. I wanted that to be something specific to both Urko and Ogun. But I don't change anything that I do. I just literally act the same way, mouth things the same way, trying to lip sync the same way. So for them to look different, that's the only way I can explain it. It must just be the difference in paint for the mouth area. Brenda Spears, great answer. Thank you very much, Brenda. Right, so I'm just going to have a look for some more questions. Would you ever show us doing your face paints? I already have done. That was asked by Pauline Goodwin. Pauline, if you check out some of my videos here on YouTube, you will see there is some live painting videos. I also did a series of videos showing me painting myself as Ogun. I split that into 3 separate videos. If you want to check that out as well, that will that will show you the painting process. Wait, how many do you have now? I think I've only seen 3. I need to pay more attention. As far as the spirit characters go, I have the dad, Spirit Uni, the 2 sons, Ogun and Urko, and we have a cousin character now called Spirit Uzu. Now, I created Uzu because he is going to feature in book number 3. There's going to be a situation arises that requires more than just the 3 family members. They're going to need more help. So I created a cousin character that I can then call on to be a part of that particular adventure. Sorry, let me just go through. Katie Berry has written, in all honesty, I don't have a question. I just want to let you know that ever since I stumbled across one of your videos in Reels, I've enjoyed your work, and I lost count of how many times you've lifted me from the wicked evil darkness. Love you, Simon, and many wonderful blessings to you and your family. See, it's comments like that that make doing what I do all the worthwhile. It really is. I'm scrolling. How did you gather the courage to put yourself out there? You certainly have a gift. Thank you for sharing. That's from James. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Balshet. I apologise if I pronounced that wrong. It's a weird one, that really, because socially I have quite a bit of social anxiety. Sorry, I'm just going to grab my coffee before it goes cold. Socially, I have quite a lot of anxiety. I'm no good in social situations. Um, I'm really awkward when it comes to eye contact and talking to people face to face. I think that's why this type of thing really works for me, because I'm literally staring at myself. I can just see myself, so it's easier for me to do it this way. But socially, I'm awful. It's just amazing. You're so creative. I love everything you do, Paul, and truly very inspirational to a lot of people, I'm sure. Thank you, Dreamer. I appreciate that. Oh, I love me a good coffee. And it's gone cold, so I'm going to have to chug it. I mean, socially, I remember once I entered a competition to one of my local radio stations, and I was the first person to get through on the phone. Now, bear in mind, I was on the phone, and I was sat in my van because I was a delivery driver at the time. And even on the phone, I was shaking like a leaf. I couldn't see the people I was talking to, but I got so nervous just being on the phone, knowing that I was the person that was on the radio, that I completely messed it up. Didn't answer the question in time, didn't win the prize, felt like such an idiot afterwards. But that's how bad I am. My hand was literally shaking. It was absolutely mental. I had an audition once for a TV show called Stars in Their Eyes. Again, I was in a room with three people. That was it. But I was shaking so much that it was just ridiculous, because I love to sing. I'm not necessarily the best person at singing, but I love to sing. So um, I had an audition, like say, for Stars in Their Eyes, and I got quite far on, to be fair. But when it came to the actual doing it in front of the judges, I just couldn't do it. I was just an absolute nervous wreck. So I'm very, very socially anxious, socially awkward as well. I've been lucky so far in respect that I've never met anybody on the street that recognises me, because I wouldn't know how to deal with that situation. I've got to admit, I want it to happen. I want somebody to turn around and say, "Oh my God, you're Fallen Spirit Official," just so I know that I've actually seen somebody that has seen my stuff. But I still think I would be very socially awkward in that situation. Going back to the questions. Diamond Rose has asked me what I do for a living. I did answer that one earlier on. I hope you saw that. I got to head to bed after 1 a.m. for me. Have a blessed night and a great life. Thank you for answering the questions. Keep up the amazing work. Absolutely my pleasure. I hope that I've answered some questions, that people really wanted to hear the answers to. Terry Emery, your painting are awesome, but resemble a Louisiana theme. Are you by any chance from Louisiana or influenced by Louisiana culture? I'm not. I'm from the UK, and as far as influenced by Louisiana culture, I wouldn't say specifically by Louisiana culture. I just one of my older characters was a voodoo doctor type character, and I just really enjoyed doing him. So it made sense when I went over into the UV side of things to try and bring him with me. Francis Barber, a lot of the questions from people who obviously have never seen a full video or scroll through your profile. Who is your football team? My football team is Liverpool Football Club. I've been a fan since I was 7. However, I will hold my hands up. I have lost touch as to where the team are um, at the moment. I know we're currently off season, but I mean, Jurgen Klopp's been the manager for a while, and they did really well, but they've had a crap season last year, I believe. I'm a little out of touch with players, new players, players that have gone, and I've never been to a live match, never had the opportunity. What are your thoughts on Hull's jerseys home and away, and have you considered teaming up with the peeps from other countries and do a care package exchange? I could kill for a scone from Netto and Turkish delights. Too bad kebabs won't stay fresh in the mail. I'm a kebab man myself. I love a good kebab. I also like Turkish delight as well. Yummy. I love chocolate. I've got to admit it. I also love jelly sweets. Big fan of those. What can I say? I've got sweet teeth. I have no idea what Hull's jerseys home and away are like, if I'm honest, because I've not checked them out. And I've never thought of doing a package exchange, if I'm honest. Where do you find an honest, kind, and caring bloke? Kay, you'd be surprised how many honest, kind, and caring blokes there are out there. But a lot of those honest, kind, and caring blokes have been hurt themselves by bad relationships. Sometimes people are honest, kind, and caring, but they have a wall up when it comes to meeting new people, and they don't necessarily put themselves out there either to meet new people because they themselves have been hurt so many times. We live in a world where, unfortunately, there are some mean people out there. I would like to believe that they don't necessarily mean to be mean, but there are people that do it because they like to be mean. That's the harsh reality of it. There are a lot more kind and caring people out there, men and women, than we give enough thought. It's a tricky one. It really is. I would just say to you, Kay, have some patience. Hopefully, you will find that kind, caring person that you deserve to be with. But I hope that you can give them enough consideration and patience because they may be looking for exactly the same thing. They may have a wall up that they don't want to let down until they feel comfortable enough. It's a tricky question, that one. You've got me on the ringer here. We're out there. There are a lot of kind and caring blokes. Just have patience. You'll find one. What made you choose the design that you use? I designed it myself. That's how I chose it. How do I answer that one, really? Um, I did Ogun. I drew him at work one day, and because he was so successful, I decided he needed a brother. So I did another character, but I implemented my own body tattoos. And then when he was, doing really well, I thought, gonna keep the ball rolling. We need a dad. So that one, I decided I wanted to put something different in the middle of his chest. I just put my thinking cap on, really, and it doesn't always work. I'll be honest, it doesn't always work. So what is the best way to assist in funding your work? Would it be sending stuff off of your Amazon wishlist, start you on Facebook, or do you have something like Cash App or one of those kind? The answer to all of those is yes. I would never specifically tell anybody what to do with regards to that. My answer would be quite simple. If you want to, because I have several projects on the go, my Spirit's Tale Book 2 is a very important project to me. That is going to cost me around £1,000 to get finished, illustration wise, and published. And I'm saving up my stars from Facebook to go towards that. But I'm splitting my stars with my wife. I'm giving her half of whatever I earn from that to go towards household bills because it's only fair to contribute in that way. So that's one of the things that I'm really trying to aim towards saving for. I'll be honest, I've got about £80 saved up, so I'm a long way off. But what I say to people is if you want to help with that, then there are several ways you can do it. You could buy my book. I get about £2 per book sold. You could help spread the word about my book. You could buy it for relatives. That way you're getting something out of it, but you're also helping me. You could buy my merch. There are links to my merch store. I've recently designed a load more merch with some sayings on that people are finding really funny. You could, if you choose to, you could donate by Cash App or PayPal. I have those also. Other ways you can help. Yes, I do have a wish list, but that's it's a wish list. It's the stuff on there that I wish I had. I mean, for example, today my desktop PC packed in. I've had it for 10 years. It's been a faithful companion to me. I'm sad about it, but will the world keep on turning? Yes. But I have a PC in my wish list. If some rich person goes into it and decides to buy me it, great. That's going to help me out massively because I do put a lot of my videos on there. I try to edit stuff on there. I try to do my merch on there. Um, Long and short of it is there are many different ways that you can help, but I leave it up to you as the viewer to decide how you want to do that. If you want to do it completely selflessly and not get anything back, there are the Cash App, PayPal options. But if you want to get something from it, then by all means, buy a book, buy some merch, whatever makes you comfortable. But please know, from a personal perspective, from me, it's not necessary. I don't ever expect people to donate. I don't ever expect people to buy my stuff. It's just nice when it happens. Right, I'm just going to grab my plug because it looks like the battery's going to run out, and we don't want that happening. So I'm just going to plug you in. Et voila, we have power. So I hope that answered that question for you, Larkin. I'm going to go back to my phone now and just have a look at some of the questions from Facebook. Did you ever perform in the theatre? That's by Marnie Monfort. That's a very interesting name, Marnie. I like that. The answer to that question again is no. Social anxiety will not allow it. I did, I always had an interest in acting. I would love to be an actor. I really would. In school, when we were getting to the end of year 9, which was when you're roughly 13, 14, you have to choose between certain subjects. And I chose art because I thought I was better at it. But then at the end of that particular year, I did my exams for drama and I put on a piece where I was bullied, where I was beaten up, where I had to break down in front of my parents and then break down in front of my high school teacher. And I got told by my teacher that that would have been a GCSE, which was the grading system at that point, grade C, when I was 13. And I remember thinking I should have picked drama to do because I would have had another 2 years to hone my skills, gain confidence, get better at it, and potentially that GCSE grade C could have been an A by the time I was ready to do my exams. But no, I chose art, and you live and you learn. I did the same thing with geography and history. I picked geography, and my history exam, I got a really good score on, even though I rushed it because I wasn't bothered about it. And the geography one, not as good a score. I've made some crappy decisions at the end of the day. I would love you to just paint your tattoos so we can see the reaction you get. Then it would be a fab one-off just for you. Please consider it. I can only possibly paint the tattoos that I can see, and some of my tattoos are really bad. So chances of that happening, I'm afraid, are very, very slim. Do you paint on canvas as beautifully as you paint on yourself? And if yes, could you show us some of your works of art? I actually don't. I've never really painted on canvas, Libby. Maybe one day, if I have the time. When you were younger, what was the job you wanted to have? I think I've always wanted to be famous. I think when I was younger, it didn't matter how I would get to be famous. I just wanted to be famous, whether it was singing, acting, um, singing or acting. Yeah, probably. I just wanted to be famous. But then when it came to it, social anxiety. I mean, in a social situation, I find it very hard to keep eye contact. I'm that bad. I really am. But that's what I wanted to be when I was younger. And a big part of what I wanted when I was younger was to be loved. I wanted to be in a really good relationship with somebody, to be loved, to be able to give somebody love and get the same amount of love back. And I've been in some crappy relationships, I'll be honest. I learned from my lessons very, very slowly, unfortunately, as well. I've got a lot of regret. Looking back, I've got a lot of regret, but I wouldn't change anything, because if I changed anything, I might not be where I am today. And I like where I am today. I have a beautiful wife. I have two gorgeous twin girls. In that respect, I can put up with the regrets. How long does it take you to put all of the neon paint on? Did you make the hat yourself or get it from somewhere? An hour and a half, Sherry. This is Sherry Bender. And the hat I bought from Amazon. I just made some adjustments and painted some of it so that it shows up in the UV light. Are you an art student or professional artist before you did these videos? I am an art teacher and professional artist who admires your visual creativity as well as the videos themselves. Thank you for these videos. I have used a couple of them with people who have needed encouragement. That is from Linda Jo Huber. Never been an art student apart from a little bit in school. Never been. I'm definitely not a professional artist. It makes me feel really good to know that what I do is being used to encourage people. That's a very positive and wonderful thing to know. Vilarkin always help people achieve their dreams. You help one, and it makes others have just a little bit more faith in theirs. My son's dream is to be an author. Supporting dreams is always important. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I do not consider myself to be an author. I have published 2 books, but up until the moment when I actually wrote those books, I never considered it. I still kind of can't believe I've done it. I mean, I went from writing a book called Brian the Bear Plays Hide and Seek, which was probably about 300 words, to then doing A Spirit's Tale, The Journey Begins, because people kept encouraging me, write a story about your characters on TikTok, give us a little bit of insight into them and their lives and their background. And that ended up being 3,000 words, which I was super proud of. And then, because I had so much fun doing it, I kept the momentum going. I started on book 2. Book 2 has more characters, it has bad guys. It is 17,000 words, so it's nearly 6 times in length of the first book, Spirit's Tale book. And whilst it's still not the length of something like Harry Potter or other novels that you will find out there, I'm still super proud of it. The story for me is so much better than I could have ever imagined myself writing. And I'm still keeping the momentum going. I'm 9,000 words into book 3, around 3 chapters. And hopefully once that's written and finished, I can continue to write and keep the stories flowing. But yeah, I don't know how I went onto that tangent. How do you handle extreme anxiety and depression? I'd love some insight on how your characters handle this. Do you know what? Sometimes you've literally got to go put yourself in a dark room with nobody around you, put a set of headphones on, and just scream. Just scream your blooming lungs out. Sometimes you just have to let that out. It has to go somewhere. I myself am a bottler. I bottle the things that bother me, and then at some point they erupt. And I shouldn't do, and I don't really have a great deal to bottle these days, thankfully. But I've always been a bottler. But I really do feel like, get yourself in a dark room and scream, or go seek professional help. That's why there are people out there that you can talk to. And I think, if you yourself, Sandra Lodder, are having to deal with extreme anxiety, maybe professional help is the route to go down. Terry Ann Holloway asks, are the characters you assume your alter egos, or a peek into how brain and how you think? I enjoy you very much. Are they my alter egos? I'm not sure I would consider calling them alter egos, or maybe I would. All I can tell you is, as myself, I can be quite shy, quite reserved. I don't like overly this. People may say there's nothing wrong with you, you look fine, blah blah blah. That's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinions about themselves, and sometimes it doesn't matter how many times other people say to you, "You're fine, you look good." this, that, and the other. You're still going to have that opinion. You know, that's everybody's own issue, let's say. That's my issue. But when I put my paint on, when I turn that light out, when I put on that UV lamp, I look in the camera and I absolutely love, 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 love what I see. So, are they my alter egos? Yes. They are the best part of me, I think. They are how I get to just be a bit more free from the restraints of life and life's commitments and life's crap at the end of the day. You know, I'm like everybody else. I have debt that I'm trying to pay off. I have dreams that I'm trying to achieve. I have I very, very rarely get um, a great deal of sleep, so I'm always tired. Because of the way that I work, I start work at 2:15 in the morning, so I'm up at 1:10. I have to have a nap during the day, so I'll sleep 2:30 till 5:30, which is 3 hours, if I can get to sleep straight away. And then I'm back up. I'm back into bed by 9 o'clock, and then back up again by 1:10. So again, potentially 4 hours sleep there, but only if I get straight to sleep. You know, so that's 7 hours broken up. But it never quite works out that way because of the silly sleep pattern I have. I'm always tired, um, and that can drag me down a little bit sometimes too. But I just think all of those pressures, all of those things that might get to me as me while I'm in character, not so much. I'm all about having fun when I'm in character. Is soup a food or a drink? Soup is a food. It's technically a food. However, I've had quite a few cuppa soups, which is soup in a cup, which I will drink. So it's food, but it's also a drink. So it's both. What came first, the egg or the chicken? Hmm. I think that's a. Sorry, my internal monitor just decided it didn't want me to answer that one. Do you do your own makeup and costume designs? I love them and they're very ingenious. That's from Yvette Quake. Yes, I do. My characters were designed by me. They are thankfully copyright protected so that nobody can steal them. And I paint myself as well. So I'm very proud of what I do. Barry Berman, I enjoy following your stories and messages. Keep up the great work you have been putting out for all of us. Be blessed. Thank you very much, Barry. Appreciate the sentiment. Have you thought about maybe making a elder character and or a youngster? I have. However, it's tricky because some of my characters are young characters. In retrospect, if you read my book, it will explain to you that Uni is around 2,000 years old, and his sons Urko and Urgen are around 900 years old. In terms of human years, that would make Uni around, I don't know, 40, and it would make his two sons, Urko and Urgen, sort of teenagers. So they are actually the younger characters as far as the family goes. But because it's me portraying them every time, it's my face, it's my body shape, they kind of all will look the same. And that's where the stories come in. The stories help to set the mood and determine their ages and stuff, and it helps delve into their character as well. I can't really talk too much about how things happen in the books because, well, I want people to buy the books at the end of the day. I want people to go and buy the books and hopefully enjoy the books. I'm talking, of course, about A Spirit's Tale, The Journey Begins, which is my book about my characters, available on Amazon. Go check it out. I think I've pretty much covered most of the questions on here. Cosplay can have a poor reputation because of some of the digital content they share. What got you interested in the genre? I've not really had any experience with cosplay having a bad or poor reputation myself. I've seen a lot of people that do cosplay get bullied. Um, People that might decide, okay, I want to dress up as Spider Man, and they will do it and they will post videos, and people will rip into them something rotten saying, you look nothing like Spider Man, you look nothing like this character. But they're missing the point. It's not about trying to look exactly like somebody, it's about just having a go at it. You know, it's like I could dress up as Thor, and I'm not going to look anything like Thor because I'm not Chris Hemsworth. I'm also not a strapping big Swedish type bloke with blonde hair. You know, Chris Hemsworth is the movie version of Thor, but there are many other different versions of Thor that you can find in comic books, in other mediums. Elsa, good morning. Hope you are well too. Thank you for joining us. Um, but that's the one thing that I really cannot stand about any social media platform. It's bullies. I often get asked what my stance is on things like LGBTQ, and quite frankly, I have cousins that are gay. They are the nicest two blokes you will meet in your life. They are funny as heck, and they're absolutely adorable. I have no issue with anybody, literally anybody. You could be gay, straight. You could identify as a they. I get a little confused on all of that. I'll be honest with you. But my stance literally is: be who you want to be what you want to be whatever makes you happy in yourself. The only thing I do not like is people that take pleasure and joy out of making other people feel bad about themselves. I hate bullies. This is coming from somebody that's been bullied. I've been bullied. I was bullied as a child. I always felt like the odd one out. I was a bit of a geek, and over the years, a couple of times I stood up for myself and I fought back, and those bullies stopped being bullies after that point. But that's not the way to do it. That is not the way to do it. You shouldn't have to stand up for yourself and fight people, because one, that doesn't always work. It can end up making things a lot worse. And two, you are then becoming a bully yourself by being physically aggressive with somebody. And I didn't want to become a bully, but it did happen. Even though it was brief, it did happen. And I hated myself for it. I loathed myself for it. And I think because of that, because of growing up with us, um, going through that situation, I do have a deep disdain, a hate, let's say, for bullies. I can't stand bullying in any way, shape, or form. I do not condone it. I hate to see it on public. I hate to see it anywhere, literally anywhere. I think that's why I love movies so much as well. I love seeing underdog movies where people, villages, or people are getting, knocked down by the man, or abused or really treated badly, and then your hero comes in and saves everybody. And I think, yeah, bullies just got what was coming to them. I don't know. For Favel Nolte, you are such a motivational person. Grateful I came across you, and thanks for being you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the sentiment. I've said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this for you all watching right now. All four of you. Four people are watching me. Hey, I'm grateful for four people watching me. Just going to put that out there. I'm not being sarcastic. You know, for four people to take the time to come and watch me is magnificent. So thank you. I'm going to put this out there though. At the moment, I have 145,000 followers on Facebook. Without even one of those followers, I wouldn't have followers. Does that make sense? I wouldn't be where I am on Facebook. On TikTok, I have 1.5 million followers. I don't even think 15 of those followers see my content at the moment, because TikTok is just being ridiculous. And for that reason, I may actually be selling my account. There is a website where you can sell social media accounts. I may be selling my TikTok account, just to hopefully get some funds to help pay off some debts and stuff. I will be starting another one if that happens. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. But it will help me to ease the pressure and get rid of some bills. Um, but yeah, without people following me, engaging in my content, enjoying my content, sharing, liking, commenting, I wouldn't be anywhere. I'd just be some guy stood in front of the camera making myself look silly. Um, but as long as I'm having fun doing it, I suppose that's the important part, isn't it, really? Some people have asked me, you know, what do I do? How do I do what it is that you do? And I've responded in kind by saying, don't do what I do. Do something that's completely you. Do something that's going to have people look at what you're doing and think, oh, wow, try and be unique, but also at the same time, make sure you're having blooming fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point? What is the point? It's like being a movie star. Yeah, there's the money part involved, but I've you hear about actors that decide to retire from acting because it's no longer fun for them to do it anymore. And I would say the same thing goes with anything. If you're not having fun, maybe it's time to move on and try something different. I thankfully am still having fun with what I do. I've had a lot of fun over the past couple of days creating some new merch. I've used some images of Uni and the Spirit Family, and I've put some interesting quotes on my merch. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone just so I can read some to you because I had a lot of fun doing it. So I did one yesterday, which has, I don't think you can see it properly, but it's a picture of Uni on the front and it says, "There's a reason I don't have many friends." And on the back, it says, "They met my family." I thought it was funny. And then another one, "Sarcasm is my only defense against idiots." While my face is smiling, my mind plans its escape. Um, you can't choose your family, but you can choose to ignore them. Another true sentiment. Another one that says, "My face is smiling, but my mind is scheming." And then lastly, blood doesn't always mean family. That's another one as well. As bad as it sounds, when you're younger and you get the bullies that try to put you down and destroy your life isn't about material things. But when you get older, it's nice seeing the look on their faces when they realise how far you've got in life compared to them. I understand where you're coming from, but personally, I've never once compared myself to any of my childhood friends or childhood bullies because I think, you know what, you do you, and I'm going to do me. I'm happy with where I am. And I genuinely hope that you are happy with where you are. I would like to be in a better place, but unless some miracle happens where I win the lottery or my book sells a million copies, my book when my book sells a copy, I get less than £2. I get like £1.80. So I would have to sell a lot of books to actually get rich from it. But I'm still appreciative of the books that I have sold, and I look at my life and think, yeah, I'm happy where I am, but this is where I want to be. Is it just me, or do I start talking about one thing and then slip into something else? I lose my train of thought. It's because I'm tired all the time. I have explained that. Anyway, so just quickly look at the time. It's 9:44 a.m. Unfortunately, the girls need to be up in the next 15 minutes to be fed once again, and I can feel my stomach rumbling really badly. So I'm going to get myself something to eat. So I'm going to end this live. I hope all of you that popped in got your questions answered. I'm going to share this, I think, on Facebook after the fact as well. So hopefully the people that ask the questions can see the answers. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this live. and I'm going to go now. I'm sorry I'm not more interesting. What can I say? Have a great day. Take care and speak soon. Bye for now.